Hi out there in the YouTube world, it is me, the Puzzle Master, and this is going to be number 7 of the Nakshatra series, which is Punarvasu, which happens to also be my moon sign. So it's a little bit more personal and in-depth of all of the signs. I know I mentioned a couple of the previous ones were my ascendant and my sun, but it's my moon, so it's like my mind. So I can really give a truly better in-depth analysis for this sign, more so than almost any of the other nakshatras. And you have to remember that it's a crossover between going into Gemini and Cancer. So it has a little bit of the energy of both, meaning that it's a very emotional sign, but also very intellectual. These people, it makes artists, people that have kind of like an artistic mind, who will like poetry and art and paintings and all of that different kind of stuff, artistic expression, and it'll be very heavily linked to their intellect, meaning that both facets are actually like heavily interwoven, where like if they were emotionally upset or something, then they actually can't think normal analytical stuff normal, because it just can be flustering. So being emotionally centered is really important for a Punarvasu individual. Its class is merchant, and there's lots of different classification systems. There's like butcher and priest, and and merchant is one of them, which is for this one because they're very communicative, and so they have that kind of like they could be a good salesperson because they have that merchant ability. Their nature is diva or godlike, so that means that it's a benevolent force. There are malefic forces, and if you have one of those, that's fine. That just simply is a reflection of, it's actually, I think, good either way for people to know what they have internally, because then it helps to make sense of the world around them, because if you know the true lens that you view the world through. The ruler is Jupiter, so everyone knows what Jupiter is about. It's like luck and abundance, and a little juvenile at times, can be a little not so caring, but when it's in its good state, it's usually about having that abundance and sharing, and having luck and joy and laughter. And then the symbol for Punarvasu is the arrow. So an arrow that's in motion, like a shot arrow, and this links very heavily to their nature, because they're supposed to be very good. Punarvasu actually kind of translates to the dawn after the storm, or the light after a storm, or as another meaning, it can mean the second chance. So oftentimes things go wrong on first try, but they tend to in many ways make up for it in second ways. So they are known for that arrow, because, and I know this is my moon sign, that if you have a target, or you have something in mind that you want to accomplish, the more focus and intent you have on it, then the easier it is to have your goals set. But sometimes if you don't even want to pick up the bow, you don't want to string the arrow, and you don't want to pull the string, well, there can be that kind of stagnation energy that becomes attributed to this when they don't want to take action. And it's more through active harmony and peace and balance, because this sign strives in that being harmonious and trying to keep things going with the flow, and they don't like to be abrasive. Even when they are, it's not really I don't know, how they want to be. The animal is a female cat, and the myths associated with it are, like I said, it's the first light after the storm. Main ideas are it's a perennial wellspring of energy and intelligence. It represents infinite renewal and life orchestrating circumstances that will include the habit or skill of constancy, which curves back to tap the inner reservoir. So it's like that feedback loop where they go through cycles of death and renewal and constant, because it's a very spiritual sign, not in the ways of modern day religions modern day religions would actually see Punarvasu as like being obstinate and like not wanting to follow scriptures. But in Punarvasu, it actually says that like it will have a spiritual embrace for all religions, but it won't really like, I don't know, I kind of see everyone as being either we're all right or we're all wrong. But either way, like, we're all equal in our interpretations because we don't know. And it's really just kind of like spiritual speculation. Like, and I understand that. Like, if you research Punarvasu in more depth, you'll see articles about that. Like, we don't feel the need to like go to a church because I do feel that there is a God or some kind of spiritual energy, but it permeates everything. I don't need to go to just a specific building. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just how I think. Yeah, it's a renewal of the dwelling and riches. It reforms or remakes to its original image. Traits that are associated with Punarvasu is it loves harmony and is satisfied very easily. They have a nurturing ability, and that comes from like the Cancer energy, which is ruled by the moon. So that's like the nurturing, motherly energy, and calmness. So gotta tell you, like Gemini, because it's a Gemini moon, and that's like a little bipolar. So like, it's not calm all the time. Like, maybe after the storm. But yeah, they're simple, spiritual, and philosophical. Their mental and emotional aspects are very interconnected. They have great imaginations, can talk to almost anyone, regardless of age, sex, race, gender, all of that kind of stuff. It doesn't really matter because I just see everyone as kind of like, I don't know, we're all like sparks of whatever kind of creation we can, people speculate that we come from, but I still feel that like we all have that unique spark in us that is equal and that should be respected at all times, even if the other individuals aren't necessarily acting in a respectable way. That's just, we shouldn't judge, is kind of the point of Punarvasu. They are very good at poetry and writing, but however they lack foresight because they stay in the present so strongly that oftentimes they don't think about the repercussions of their actions that they have taken in the moment and how that affects them in the future. So they're kind of gullible and innocent and can be led astray easily. So they should, if you're a Punarvasu, like, please take note of that, because you might have great moments but then suffer in long term because you didn't really think them through. Like, so they're very lucky because they're ruled by Jupiter. So even if they have like struggle and hardships, usually they get through it easily because they're blessed with Jupiter, which is like the planet of luck and abundance. And often, no matter how difficult a task is, if it's what they truly want, if that is what they have their aim, because their symbol is the arrow, if that's what they have their aim at, they often do get what they want, but usually it is the second time around, not the first time. So it's not really like an arrow that hits all the time, but it's like more like, kind of like a boomerang. It might make it the second time around. And yeah, their appearance or general characteristics is that they come off as being like serene and benevolent. And yeah, that's pretty much the summary for the sign. And I'll see you in number 8. But mwah, bye for now.